Welcome to the next video on Adobe Illustrator. So if you run Adobe Illustrator CS5 and click File and then New, we're just going to open up a brand new file. And I want it to be landscape, so click this button here, and it's in landscape. Click OK. And we're just going to draw a few objects here. Now first I just want to make sure that in your preferences, your units are correct, and most likely they are. I want this to be in points to start. Okay? So, yes, in points. Okay, and just click OK. Now, I want you to create a star. So if we click on the square here, and we go down to the star tool, I want you to go into the middle here and just click once. And what you're going to get is, you can get the choice of the inner radius and the outer radius of the star. And I want you to make a difficult star, a 7-point star, and just click OK. And you'll notice that you get your star here, and it looks like it's just the outline. And it is really, it's an outline, but it's filled with white. And the concept I want you to understand is that there is a fill color, which in this case is white, and what's called a stroke color, which is the outline, which is black. And we're going to change those right now. So if you double click the white, I just want you to pick any color you like. I'm going to pick a green color, and just click OK. And then I'm going to double click the stroke, which is this, and then I'll choose any color for the stroke. Let's make it that color. And you can't see it right now because the stroke is very thin. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this tool here, the stroke tool, and we're just going to increase the size. And this should have been in points too, but anyway, we'll just go to increase it to a bit too much. Let's go down to there. There we go, just like that. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to increase the size. So if we go to the selection tool, which is the black arrow, okay, now you can drag this out holding shift and it'll maintain its aspect ratio, but a neat thing you can do too is hold down the shift and the option, so it'll not only maintain the aspect ratio, but also keep it in the center. So if you watch this, it keeps it in the center. I want it to be fairly large. So once you get it to there, now to move it down a bit, because it's not quite centered, I just grab anywhere inside the object and move it down. There we go. Okay, so the next thing I want you to draw is a square. And so if you go to the square tool like this, and just draw a square over top of it like this. I just want to see all the points of the star, but just a square over top. And now I just want you to change the stroke color. Change the stroke color to blue. And I'm going to change the fill color to a yellowy color, and I've got that. Now the last thing I want you to do here is I want you to draw and you're going to draw an apple. And so the way you draw is you have to do it all in one shot. You can't do it in parts. Okay, I want you to just draw the apple, a little stem like this, and then we're going to do a delicious apple with little bumps on the bottom. So you do the blue bumps, and then back up again. It looks a little bit like a pumpkin, but it's okay. And now we're going to double click the fill, and obviously apples are red. Okay, oops, double click the fill, apples are red, click there. Okay, and we're going to make the stroke black, like that. Now to make it look a little bit more interesting, we're going to change the stroke style by going to the brushes, and we're actually going to choose a sort of brush stroke. Now one of the cool things I want to mention at this point is, and I'm going to run Photoshop here, is that the reason why we illustrate or draw things in Illustrator is because they are vector drawings, which means they're actually a mathematical equation to actually create the drawing, as opposed to what a Photoshop image is. And a Photoshop image is actually, I'm just going to make one that's, let's see, 800 by 600. A Photoshop image is actually what's called a bitmap. And so if I actually take, I'm just going to shrink down this drawing here, and I'm going to do a select all here, which is Command A, and then I'm going to use the selection tool and drag this whole thing into Photoshop. So I'm just going to drop it there. It'll just take a second, and I'm just going to move it down, and there, it's the exact same object. Okay? Now, in Photoshop, if you recall, the way we zoom in on something is Command plus, so I can zoom in like this, or I can do spacebar command, and I can actually zoom in really closely. And this is the classic zoom in on a raster or bitmap image, it becomes pixelated. Okay? On a vector image, which is our Illustrator drawing here, we'll do the exact same thing. I'm going to drag this out again. Okay? And we will zoom in on this image. So Command plus, I'm going to zoom in. Now I'm going to do the spacebar command. I'm going to zoom in on a section of this. And you notice we're not seeing any pixelation. And again, not seeing any pixelation. In fact, no matter how close we get on a vector image, it will never pixelate because it is a mathematical equation creating these objects. So, for logos and for anything that needs to be resized a significant way, vector images are significantly better. Hopefully that explains it all.